steady. Don't look down. Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. Thanks for joining me for part 2 of this special look at the Masters of the Universe Escalator slash Tower Tools set from 1989. I've got the contents of the package unboxed and laid everything out here neatly in the frame so you guys can see everything that the set comes with, and it's very generous. Like I mentioned in part 1, the first thing that you're going to need is a vintage He-Man figure, although you can probably also use a modern Origins figure. I don't know, man. We'll save that one for another video. Now, vintage He-Man figures are pretty easy to find in online lots. It's normally the accessories that are the hardest. But the good thing is you don't need any of that stuff for this setup because He-Man gets all new front and back armor. And there's details of circuitry all around this thing. It's very mechanical looking. He also gets this huge extending piece of construction equipment. You know, it's like the palace maintenance guy took the day off and He-Man just steps in and says, "It's okay, I'll take it from here." You know. Anyway, let me get this straight. He's supposed to be lugging all of this stuff right on his back. Okay, he also gets a clamp attachment. Yeah, this one looks like it could also work as a torture device for your fingers. Then he gets his battery pack. Like I mentioned in the review for Elevator, the Man-at-Arms set, this is the most important component of the entire set because, without this thing, all right, the whole unit doesn't run on any of the battery operations. Okay, so you're going to need this, okay, intact in one piece, all right? I hope that this one works. Now, he's also got the spinning saw blades. Okay, these are motorized. Okay, once you plug it in to the battery pack, these are going to be moving. We're going to check that out in a bit, all right? These look massive, actually. Man, those are some blades. He also gets a clear face shield. The Elevator set with Man-at-Arms came with one as well. But this one is completely different, okay? From the design and the way it attaches to the whole unit is completely different. We're going to check that out. He gets these large construction sandals, I guess. Boots. Yeah. Well, these actually look, probably a lot more sturdier than the one that, the Elevator set came with. Okay, we're going to check it out. Let's get everything onto He-Man's main body here. He's got, the armor on. And what you need to do is just get the two pieces, the front and back pieces of the armor just strapped on like this, okay? Yeah, just get that part strapped in there. There's a lot of these rubber straps, okay, when it comes to vintage He-Man figures, right? And a lot of them actually tend to break off over time. I hope that this one manages to stay in one piece. Okay, you are going to need that large orange mechanical arm to be used as some kind of a balancing stick, I suppose, because he doesn't stand too well on his own. And also, I think that, my particular figure is a little bit loose, all right? The rubber bands in his thighs are pretty loose, and that's also contributing to the fact that he doesn't stand up too well. If you had a sturdier figure, I suppose that, that would work in your benefit, all right? Like the Man-at-Arms one that I used for the Elevator set, and he was also, bogged down with heavy stuff, but he stood up pretty well. Okay, then you pop on his front face shield, and this thing just slides in there smoothly like that. He's the most powerful man in the universe, but he still needs to get his face protected. Okay, that's very important, guys. Okay, now that you've done that, the next thing to attach is actually the clamp. Okay, this thing slots into the front, okay, of his armor, just like that. There's a slot there where you just shove that thing in. And it's pretty cool. Okay, actually, he's walking around with this clamp thing just in front of him like that, right? Yeah, he's definitely getting geared up here, right? There's a lot of stuff, okay, that gets added on to him. And let's not also forget his construction boots, okay? These need to be strapped on. The thing is that, in the instructions and also in the photos that were provided, this section here, the one that extends out at the side, is supposed to be actually facing on the inside. So I'm actually putting this on the other way. But you know what? They still fit, and I think that these look, good as well. Okay, he's got his boots on, and you're just about done. The last thing to strap on is the battery pack. And about that battery pack, okay, look, full disclosure, I tried it out, and for some reason, it doesn't work, okay? I don't know what's wrong, but we do have the one from Man-at-Arms, okay, the battery pack that came with the Elevator set. And this one, like I said, is identical, okay, they're the same battery packs, okay, they're just colored differently. So thank goodness we've got a standby option, okay, otherwise we're not going to be able to test out anything for this video. All right, I'm still going to have to look into what's, probably holding up the one that came with the He-Man set. I think maybe it's a connector issue or something like that, but, meantime, let's just test it out with the battery pack that we have on hand. stick the saw blades in there, turn the switch, and yeah, check this out, man. Look at this. Oh, look at that thing start to turn, man. Look at that. Wow. Wow, look at that, man. It's real smooth. You know? Whoa, shit. You okay there? Okay, you can actually mount it to He-Man's hand like this, but it's gonna need some hand support. But yeah, he looks good, man. Holding this thing, just spinning around like that, you know? This giant pizza cutter. You can also mount it, okay, at the edge of the large mechanical arm, just like that, so that He-Man can deploy the use of the blades on enemies, but from a safe distance. Just like with Stinkor right here. Yeah, he can cut up that skunk real good. Yeah, without having to get too close. Yeah, He-Man, no! I told you, skunk, stay off my planet. Now, sadly, the clamp isn't battery operated. Otherwise, it would have been so cool to see this thing opening and closing with that motorized action. Yeah, but it looks like you're gonna have to do it manually. Yeah, He-Man! Now, the set also comes with a very long and thin-looking string to be used as a zip line. The thing is, right, on the actual packaging, it kind of shows something entirely different. Okay, the string looks like a thick piece of rope. Okay, the kind of rope they use for like rock climbing and stuff like that. That is just some bullshit. Okay, the actual thing looks more like the thread that moms used to use back in the day to sew up our missing buttons, stuff like that, right? But the amazing thing is just that once you actually deploy it, somehow or the other he's able to move along smoothly, right? Just watch him go. He's like traveling across the terrain without falling off. I think that this is pretty amazing, man. This is some pretty amazing engineering. And it's like the motor in this thing must be really strong, okay, to be able to keep him going like that, even uphill to some extent, all right? Now, there's any number of combinations that you can use this thing. In a way, it's very similar to what, the Man-at-Arms set was like, but this one's more like, forward instead of upwards. But he still looks great. I think that the execution of this is pretty fantastic. Overall, man, he's pretty fun, okay? I think all of these motorized sets are just really fun, and I wonder if Origins is going to bring them back. I think that, this one is definitely due for an update, but I think the next video that I'm going to do, I'm going to try him out, okay, with the modern Origins bodies and see how that goes. Okay, so that's the video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this Escalator set, the vintage Escalator / Tower Tools from back in the day. And I'll catch you guys again real soon with more content right here. Thank you and take care out there.